In this video, I'm going to be going over some of the recent and most interesting Fallout 76 news. We have some updated info on Fallout first, and I actually had a poll on my recent videos, so I'll touch on that and what actually happened. But then also, there's seemingly been some kind of ban wave affecting kind of not who you would want to and not affecting who you would want to, which is an interesting and odd scenario. And then a few other things just looking ahead at this game, but either way, if you want to keep up to date with what's happening with Fallout 76, you can subscribe. But otherwise, let's take a look first at Fallout First and the expansion of Fallout First that I made a video on a few days ago. So 2 days ago now, I made a video talking about how Bethesda expanded Fallout First. Basically what had happened was they added a new skin into the program, and this was basically, at the time, an exclusive microtransaction. So if you are already subscribed to Fallout First, you could spend 500 additional points to buy this skin, but if you weren't, then you couldn't. So you would pay money to get the privilege to pay more money for a green skin for an armor. And the other interesting side of this was the now pretty popular Fallout 76 leaking blog MMOG Fails actually had predicted something like this would come 4 days earlier. So I talked about all of that in the video, but as we later learned, Bethesda actually apparently did this on accident. Later in the day after my video had released, the skin went from being 500 points to free. And Bethesda issued a statement saying, in today's update for the Atomic Shop, the new Riot Armor paint that became available in the Fallout First section of the shop was listed at a price of 500 atoms. This Ranger Armor paint should be free for all Fallout First members, and it will not cost any atoms going forward. So this was seemingly just a mistake on the part of Bethesda, and even further, they actually are refunding people who bought this. Some people requested refunds through support and got them, but even a step further, several of you have reached out about how Bethesda has been automatically refunding people. So even for those that don't reach out to support, they're still getting emails saying, hey, we're giving you your money back, this wasn't supposed to cost anything. And personally, I found this whole situation to be quite odd. First and foremost, the skin went live at around 11 a.m. That's when you could actually start buying it. It didn't actually become free or get changed until around 7 p.m. later that day. So it took almost a full 8 hours to see this change, which is kind of crazy. Like, did literally nobody at Bethesda realize this live product you just added to your store, and even in a new section of your store, was priced incorrectly? I mean, it definitely is nice that it is free. Now it's just another reward for being a subscriber to Fallout First, which I don't agree with the program, but it's not nearly as bad as having exclusive microtransactions. But it also makes me question, how exactly did this happen, and even further, how did no one realize? And if you want to put your conspiracy cap on, it makes it seem like maybe this was originally intended to cost money, but they last minute made a decision for it not to. So like, it was originally going to be $5, but then a couple of days before they were like, no, let's just make it free because we don't need more backlash. But then whoever put it live on the store didn't get the memo. Maybe some intern got fired yesterday. But also some interesting updates around how this relates to some of the leaks for Fallout 76. So in my eyes, the fact that this was added to the game gave that blog MMOG Fails a lot of credibility, because again, they said something like this would be coming just 4 days prior. But then when it switched, now that kind of throws things into a toss-up, although that same blog that has been reporting leaks for Fallout 76 actually did call this also. There's a post saying that the public outcry will make the Riot paint free for all Fallout First members soon, good job all, and then saying, see, they are listening. And then later on, he actually updates that to say, I knew about it a few hours after the Riot paint launched, but was asked not to post until later in the day. This was supposed to be their test to give Fallout First members unique discounted items. It didn't go over too well, with people canceling their subscriptions, so they quickly changed their minds and claimed it was a mistake, which has happened in the past. So that actually sounds like really good news, like Bethesda listened to the community for once, which would be a good improvement. Although the thing that gets me very suspicious about this one is it really just doesn't add up. Firstly, this first part of the leak saying that public outcry will make the Riot paint job free, this was actually posted after it was already free. The times on this blog are in Pacific time, so the price was changed on the armor at 4 p.m. and he posted about the leak at 6 p.m. But even further, there really wasn't much public outcry around this. I made a video on it, there was like one post on Reddit, and I would say out of all of the things to happen with Fallout First, all of the things breaking or all the new things getting added, this was literally the one thing to get the least coverage. Not many people made videos about it, there were really no articles about it, and there were barely any posts about it. So for Bethesda to listen this time around just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And then when you add that on top of apparently he was supposed to not talk about this publicly for some reason, it does make me increasingly suspicious of all the posts or apparent leaks around this. But either way, for those of you asking, that is an update on that situation. For those asking why I pulled my video specifically, a lot of the video was talking about why I thought adding that was so bad, and how now it's likely a lot of the future content added will also follow suit, and how how this actually gives the blog a bit more credibility, while in reality, if it was just a pricing error or a last-minute change internally, which I think if you look at the context makes a lot more sense than it was a response to backlash, because again, there really wasn't much, it invalidated most of that video. Although, outside of that, some other things that have been happening with Fallout 76 that is rather concerning is actually a recent ban wave. Just yesterday, I made a video about a major hacking problem in Fallout 76's Battle Royale mode. Many people are hacking openly in that game. It's not a rare sight. You'll see it every few games. Unfortunately, I'm not reporting on a ban wave around those people. I'm reporting on a ban wave around data miners. So a little over a week ago now, it seemed like there was a ban wave for Fallout 76 around Cheat Engine. So effectively, it seems like people using Cheat Engine or some other third-party softwares were all banned around the same time. And that's not that big of a deal. That actually does make quite a bit of sense. It doesn't really solve the Battle Royale problem because many of those are using other programs, although the problem this time around was that many of the people caught in that ban wave were simply people actually trying to improve Fallout 76 or data mining it. Although Cheat Engine has an ominous name, it actually is a very useful tool otherwise. They weren't actually giving themselves additional stats in game, but trying to figure certain things out, get certain values from the game, and even helping improve the game by finding things that shouldn't be there. Some of you guys might remember a couple of weeks ago that we actually had Fallout 76 maintenance on a Saturday. That being very unusual. Typically, you don't see updates spontaneously on a Saturday when people are supposed to be off. The reason we got that update was these data miners found a fairly game-breaking bug in the game, reported it to some of the appropriate people, and then it actually got fixed. They found that using Cheat Engine. And just to be clear with that, when I say game-breaking, it wasn't like some kind of duping exploit or anything relatively minor, inconsequential like that. It was around an account security flaw, which if people found out about this or if people started abusing it, would have been a major issue. But rather, they figured it out, told Bethesda privately, and got it fixed pretty quickly. So those same people that helped get that game-breaking bug fixed are now banned. So I would argue initially this isn't a huge problem. Technically, these players were suspended, pending investigation to see what exactly was going wrong, and you would assume they would be able to say, hey, I just helped you literally fix a bug, so please unban me, or hey, I'm not actually really cheating, I'm using this as a third-party resource or tool to help improve things, and you'd get unbanned, except that's not the case. Rather, what the reality of this is, even a week plus after the fact, many of these users are getting unhelpful or really non-answers from support. They're just staying banned. Some have tried creating additional tickets and those automatically get closed, and many here are actually waiting days to even get an initial response. One of the instances that recently got popularized of this was the creator of map76.com, a pretty handy map tool. He basically had to shut the program down because he was banned and they're not helping him. They're not unbanning him. He wasn't cheating. He was likely using some of these programs to populate his information on his third-party map. And although this would be a massive problem in its own right, I feel like what really makes this such a larger issue is if you watched my video yesterday, there are people doing this in the Battle Royale mode. Openly hacking, openly breaking the game, they're not banned, which is just crazy. You have data miners and specifically people that just helped you fix a major exploit banned, but conversely, people who are breaking the game are unbanned. And in fact, and I couldn't verify this, I have heard that some of the users that are hacking in the Battle Royale mode were actually banned temporarily, but several got unbanned due to insufficient evidence, even though videos like this were submitted, showing their username, showing them openly using hacks. Although the potential silver lining here, I guess if there even is one, considering all of these data miners were just banned recently, does suggest that a larger ban wave could be on the way. A lot of these programs they've been using for many months at this point, using Cheat Engine to get some of this information since earlier this year. The ban wave only occurred again in the past week or two, so perhaps some of those cheat tools are being updated. That's the cause for the recent detection and the recent bans, so this could suggest that we'll see a ban wave in Battle Royale also if they are updating some of these tools, but this whole thing is just very backwards, and hopefully we actually see it get resolved in the coming weeks. But again, it's not like it's only been a day or two, it's already been over a week since this happened. I was waiting to report on it because I assumed it would have got resolved, but yet here we are pretty far after the fact and things are still not working. Outside of that, Bethesda did just post another Inside the Vault article. Again, they do these on a weekly basis, although it doesn't seem like there's probably going to be a ton of information in these. Looking ahead at Fallout 76, there isn't a lot on the release radar. With this most recent one, they posted some stats about their Halloween event, which is certainly interesting, but one thing again they still haven't commented on is Fallout First. Many of the community managers have been pretty active responding to other issues or even feature requests, and although they'll comment comment on Fallout First bugs, as far as just actual comments around Fallout First, that really isn't there. I don't think this is their fault personally. They're probably literally told don't talk about Fallout First at all, but it still does seem kind of crazy to me that Bethesda has this massive new feature, a ton of backlash around it, and just ignores it. Although looking ahead, there actually isn't quite nothing coming to this game this year. I kind of forgot about a couple of things they mentioned offhand that would be coming. One such one is a winter event, probably pretty similar to the Halloween event, a limited time event with limited time rewards. We heard about this back at QuakeCon, and we haven't heard any official details around this or even really seen any data mines, although just recently there was some pushback about how things like the glowing skeleton outfit that was part of kind of a promotional aspect of their battle royale mode came out after Halloween, which doesn't really make much sense. One of the Bethesda community managers did mention that there are improvements in the works for these types of challenges and rewards for them, so a better version of the system will probably be rolled out by the next time a nuclear winter event occurs. So hopefully that does mean they are incorporating some of that feedback into this potential winter event. But even further, also with the battle royale mode, there has been some mention that a future update will still be bringing map rotation. If you guys do recall, there originally was the Flatwoods map, but then on September 10th they added the Morgantown map, and rather than them switching back and forth, it's just been the Morgantown map exclusively for the past 2 months. They said this was temporary, but we haven't heard anything to the contrary. But again, just here they are mentioning in a future update it looks like there'll be some kind of map rotation, so I guess that's kind of a new feature. Outside of that, it actually looks like there's literally nothing else coming this year, or at least I don't know of anything else unless there's some surprise around the corner. But either way, with all of that being said, hopefully you guys found this video informative. Some pretty big stuff to talk about. Hopefully we see some resolutions with this ban wave, or really the lack thereof a ban wave for some users and too much of a ban wave for other users. As always, again, I thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you all next time. Later.